Girl,
You ready?
I'm ready. Hey,
Hey, what's your name, babe?
I'm Harley,
Harley. Harley, how old are you?
31.
31. What do you do for a living?
I work in mental health.
Mental health?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any kids?
No, absolutely not.
No kids. Where you calling me from? Like, where do you live?
I stay in LA, but I'm from New
LA.
Orleans.
Okay.
Mhm.
You ever been married?
No, ma'am.
No. And what do you? Okay, so Harley, what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Pisces.
Pisces. So we got Harley, LA, 31 Pisces. She works in mental health. No kids. What kind of man you looking for, boo?
Okay, so I am looking for someone who is considerate, someone thoughtful, someone who can communicate their needs, someone who's not avoidant of depth, not averse to depth, not overwhelmed by substance, somebody who is not avoidant of conflict. I notice a lot of people get a little skittish when it comes to confronting conflict. Someone who is honest, trustworthy, kind, sweet, reliable, a person of their word for sure, and someone with a high emotional intelligence.
Okay, what are your deal breakers?
Somebody with kids, um, someone who doesn't believe in science, so like an anti-vaxxer, somebody who's right-wing, conservative, moderate, anybody who's not liberal or left-wing is a deal breaker. Someone who smokes cigarettes, that's probably it, I guess.
So if a man is not vaccinated, you don't want to date him.
Mostly no. I'm open to like hearing people's reasoning. If it's something that has to do with like, let's say maybe religion, or specifically if they're immunocompromised. So if they were to be vaccinated, they have a higher propensity for death or becoming sick, then I view that differently. But somebody who just like does not believe in science is a no for me. Somebody who wasn't vaccinated since a child, so then they would be likely to become sick if they were vaccinated now, that's different than someone who was vaccinated as a kid and now opts to not be vaccinated.
Okay, fair enough. Your position is your position, not trying to sway you in any way. But did you see the news article that came out last week that said that the increase of deaths, some have been linked to being vaccinated?
I haven't seen the news article, but I
Yeah.
think also there's a lot of propaganda in general that tends to come out where if it's a point of controversy or contention or something new, that people tend to link it to that. And I think people die from a lot of other reasons too. And again, I feel like because it's a newer thing, people are more inclined to link it to such as opposed to a myriad of other factors that could play a role.
Okay, fair enough. Your position is your position. Should the guy look a certain way?
Black, all shades of black. I would say honestly, no lighter than Stephen Curry.
No lighter than Stephen Curry.
Yeah, who's pretty light. But all shades of black.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, and when I say black, you know what, I want to be specific. So like an American black man.
An American black
Or an Americanized black man. So it could be a black man who, let's say his family is from Jamaica, but he's been in America, is born in America. So he has like duality in terms of alignment with his culture in Jamaica, but also American culture. That, or someone who's just born in America and their parents from America and.
Okay. We have a paid question for you.
Okay.
Just Shay Talkin said, even though we are out of the pandemic era, you still hold not being vaxxed against him, even if he's healthy, even if he's everything you are looking for?
That's a good question. And me being forthcoming, I'll say I've stopped asking, even though we are still technically in a pandemic, but it's just not talked about as often. I think because it's been normalized and the expectation, and we've kind of adapted to what the world is now. But also because I work in the healthcare field, that's also why I'm pretty adamant. But I'll say, and me being forthcoming, I've stopped asking people about it. if he wasn't vaccinated and if he is healthy and it's not due to not believing in science, then that's different. But if he's not vaccinated because he's just anti-vaccine, period, and not just COVID, but anti all vaccines, then that's a deal breaker still, because then he wouldn't be everything I'm looking for.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's keep going. What was the last question I asked you? Okay, look, should he make a certain amount of money?
Largely, no. I would just want him to have all of his own things. So like his own space, like living space. And even if that means he has roommates, but his own space, he can't be staying with his people. His own car, which I feel kind of is like a obvious, but you know, if you live in somewhere like New York, then you don't really need a car, and that's different. Because before I moved to LA, I was actually staying in Oakland for like 3 years, and then I lived in New York for about 6 years. So I like to move around a lot. But somebody with his own stuff, somebody who's independent. But if I had to put a number, I'd say 70K and up.
Okay, 70K and up. What is the age range you would date? You're 31.
I would say 29 to 38.
Okay, should he be in LA?
Preferably. If not, state of California is cool.
Okay. Harley, let's do the Kendra Cam.
Okay.
Okay, looks like you're in good shape.
Oh, hold on. So you can see my legs. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you have a cute shape. Okay. We see you, Harley Boo. Do you want kids one day?
No, ma'am.
You don't want kids?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So can the guy have kids already?
No. So I would be looking for someone who doesn't have kids and doesn't want kids. Okay. Like somebody who's more of either they could live without having kids, but not somebody who's like, absolutely, I want kids. So either you don't want them or you're okay with never having them.
Okay. And you don't want them to have kids already?
No. Unless they're adults, but then his age would likely be higher than my range if that were the case.
Okay. When was your last relationship?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. You don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask. When's the last time you was intimate with someone?
I'll pass.
Okay. 3 flaws you have to work on.
Anxiety. I think my anxiety kind of manifests in different ways. And so sometimes that can look like thought rumination about things that have happened already, or worries about things in the future. Also kind of a control freak in a sense. Not control as in like controlling of another person, but control like I'm hyper independent. I'm used to things in my space being the way that it is. Any man who's looking for, and this is a deal breaker part, but any man who's looking for a woman who is quote unquote submissive, or will utilize the term submissive or feminine, or even the trio of feminine fit, that's a no. And it has to be a really progressive man. But flaws, so anxiety. I would say I can be perceived as really serious if you don't know me. Though I like to laugh a lot, but it has to be the type of humor that I'm into. The third one, I would say I can be a little rigid sometimes with certain things. Like I'm very used to my routine. And so getting me out of that routine or getting me to try something new food-wise, I'll try like anything adventurous-wise, but food-wise,
So you don't want to try food that you're not familiar with?
Not necessarily that I'm not familiar with, but food if it's not aesthetically pleasing. Because there are some foods that I hear taste good, but I won't try it if I don't like how it looks. So it has to be a food that looks appealing to me, or like an extension of a food that I already know that I like.
And a man that desires a woman that is fit and feminine, if he says that, he's a turn off to you?
He can say fit, but I think the combination of fit, feminine, but it's specific more so to submissive, fit, feminine, just because in my understanding, that's very much Kevin Samuels rhetoric. And usually that comes from a guy who's more on the misogynistic end of things. And I'm not looking to be led by anybody. I'm not looking to be guided. I'm not looking to submit to anybody. I want to be a partner.
So any man, so let's take the words separately. If a man says he wants a submissive woman, you don't want to be with that man?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if he wants to be with a fit woman, that wouldn't turn you off.
Right.
If he wanted to be with a feminine woman, that wouldn't turn you off. Or what does
Okay.
that turn?
It depends on how he would define feminine, only because specifically, I don't identify as being, I'm more aligned with my masculine energy than my feminine energy. And that's just me being very forthcoming about it. And so when I hear feminine, I interpret that as like almost excessive softness. While I have, of course, feminine qualities and I can be nurturing and supportive and loving, I don't subscribe to necessarily femininity. Though, of course, again, I have a mix of both, but I'm more aligned in my masculine energy than the feminine.
Okay, so with that being said, one would say that you need a beta male, a man that wouldn't mind you in the leading position. So do you think that's the type of man that would work best for you?
I don't think I necessarily subscribe to that, because a beta male, or by I guess definition of beta male, would mean that I then have to lead, even though I'm comfortable with leading, but I'm seeking more of a partner.
But you just said you don't want to be led. So
I don't want to be led. No.
So if you don't want to be led and you don't want him to be the leader, then who leads the relationship?
Is it not possible to just be partners? Because the way that I'm viewing it is the idea that you don't have to lead, I don't have to lead, or even taking turns in leading. But I guess I don't view it as leading. I view it as like we're both equals in it. And so I could decide I want to do this and you go along with that, and you decide, okay, well, I kind of want to do that, and then I could go along with that.
So but you guys, let's talk about the money. So you split the bills equally too?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, is that the kind of situation you desire? So you'll be 50-50 on everything. Your 50-50 partnership relationship, 50-50 bills as well. Okay, you know you got some paid questions.
Oh,
okay. Please stop. Okay, LII said, respectfully, you are you a robot?
Wouldn't be possible with the work that I do. I work with people on a day-to-day basis.
Ooh. Chance that she said, oh Lord, we got a feminist on our hands.
That part. Next.
I'm gonna read them first. Okay, this one. Jihan Day said, health is wealth, but you're average in LA and you don't want kids. How is a man supposed to look past all the baddies in LA and select you?
I'm not responsible for your perception of me. You can perceive me to be average, and that's cool, but I don't want you anyway. So what we doing? Thanks.
Ooh. Next. This one said, fellas, take notes. Just because a girl looks good and speaks well don't mean a thing. This girl is crazy as the day is long.
You're entitled to your perception. Like, and that person wasn't even specific on what they would identify as crazy. But there are a lot of cousins and people that watch that I don't align with in any way, shape, or form. So again,
not the ones for you anyways. Pharaoh Kingdom said, all these demands, but won't give the man a legacy. Good luck.
The man I want would foresee legacy as not just in a human form, but he could create his own legacy through business or otherwise.
She got to come back for everything y'all saying. Chance the Chief said, people change after marriage. If your husband's views or beliefs change after time, would you divorce him?
Well, I guess it depends on the view or belief change. Like, is this a core change, like part of identity? Or is this like, because I subscribe to people evolving over time too, just like he'll change over time, so will I. And so I would anticipate, well, one, I don't view like a marriage or relationship or otherwise ending as fault of the either party. I view it as simple incompatibility. So like I could be compatible with this person right now with who I am now and who they are right now. And then later in time, maybe we aren't compatible anymore. But I don't take it as a failure on my part or their part. So, but to your question, I guess it depends on the beliefs or views that change.
Okay. Okay, we did that one. This one also says she need to date a politician respectfully. Okay. Coach King Rod said, it's funny how liberals believe they are the gatekeepers of science. Science does not have a political disposition. The truth has no agenda.
I don't know that I brought up politics at all. I think all I said was liberal. And if you want me to specify, I can. So when I say liberal, I don't mean under necessarily Democratic Party or otherwise. I mean a person who's progressive in belief. So that means, oh, and these are deal breakers. Somebody who's not homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic, any of that. So someone left wing.
Well, this one agrees with you on something you said. So I definitely want to bring them on. Infoco said, it is possible to be partners and both can lead. That does not make a man a beta. Okay. So this person agrees with you and says that is possible. All right. Did I asked you your last relationship?
Yep.
And
you asked me flaws, and then I don't know if we went after.
Okay, that. I think I went to the questions. Why would a guy be lucky to be with you?
So I am somebody who's dynamic. I'm well-rounded. I'm intelligent. I'm kind. I'm compassionate. I'm supportive. I'm loving. I'm audacious in all the best ways. I'm certain of myself. I'm confident. I'm honest. I'm very direct. I'm not misleading in any way, shape, or form. I'm very straightforward. I'm reciprocal. So I believe in giving back what I receive twofold in that regard. I'm effective in my communication. I confront issues, and I am someone who believes in the issue and relationships being the issue and not my partner being the issue. So I'm all about being a team to combat that issue. I'm well-spoken / articulate. I have a vast vernacular. I am loyal, and I'm a good person, I think, at the end of the day. And I'm someone who I've recognized as an anomaly in the sense that I'm still somebody out here who's open to depth with people. Like, I don't enjoy surface level conversations. I enjoy really getting to know somebody for who they are as a person and going forward with that. I'm also not a person who ghosts people. I don't believe in ghosting unless it's a circumstance where, let's say, it's emotionally unsafe to be direct about it or physically unsafe to do that. But aside from that, I'm a relatively compassionate and understanding individual. So people can disagree with whatever my politics or my beliefs or otherwise, and that's cool. And they're just not the people for me. I don't take that as a personal thing against me. I'm well adjusted in who I am, and I'm super self-reliant.
Okay. Self-reliant as in you can rely on yourself.
100%.
Yeah. So I think your challenge is going to be just finding one person that has all of your non-negotiables, right? It's one thing to have because basically some of your non-negotiables that I heard is you like a person that was vaccinated, a person, ideally a person for you that does not have kids nor wants kids, a man who does not want a submissive woman, a man that's willing to be a partnership. You had a couple other things. So it's like, let's say you find a guy that doesn't want kids, but he's vaccinated. Let's say you find the guy who's been vaccinated, but he got kids. It's like, I think your challenge is gonna be to find this one human being that literally has all your non-negotiables. I think I think you can find your non-negotiables, but it's just gonna be finding one human being that has all of them.
And I think with that, I'm very comfortable with myself. So I'm not willing to, certain things I'm not willing to bend on. Like the vaccination thing, that is a strong preference. And again, it goes back to just whether they believe in science or not. But then their reasoning for not being vaccinated, specifically COVID vaccinated. Now, if it's the other ones, that's a deal breaker 100%. But if it's specifically COVID, then that's a conversation. But aside from that, I think it's just, certain things there's some wiggle room for. And so I'm not an unreasonable person. Like there are some things that I'll bend on, and other things I'm like, absolutely not. Like the kids is an absolutely not thing for me, just because I feel it doesn't align with the life that I want for myself. And if there's somebody who I meet and that, that's what they foresee for themselves, and that's really important, I love that for them. And I want them to have that. They won't have it with me, but I would love them to have that with the person they can have that with, respectfully. And like, there's nothing wrong with it. So I think we've now cultivated a world where there are people, increasingly more people, who don't want kids or don't see the value in having kids, or who still really want kids, or are like hit or miss, whatever. And so I'm just somebody who just strongly does not want kids.
Okay. No, fair enough. We got some more paid questions. Do you want them?
Yes, ma'am. Go for
Okay.
it.
I'm gonna let you decide. Let me try to vet some of them first. Um, Hendrik said, so you want a man that doesn't want kids, wants a woman who acts like a man, but you disagreed when Kendra said you want a beta. LOL, you don't know what you're talking about. You want a gay bi man.
Let's be clear. What you're saying is that masculine is synonymous with man and they're not mutually exclusive. So, how about we learn definitions? Secondly, as far as a bi man, I'm not opposed to dating a bi man because I'm a progressive woman, as I said. So, either way, but no, it doesn't have to be a beta man because I want someone who also can be assertive and knows what they want too and has confidence too and is self-reliant too. So somebody who's similar to me, quite frankly, and I'm okay with that. But again, everybody doesn't have to understand it, and that's cool.
Okay, let's see. I'm not sure. I don't want to go too deep here, but I'll just ask it and we'll keep going. Shaniqua Headley said, do you believe in God?
Oh, this is a good one. I am someone who identifies as agnostic. I don't actually subscribe to a specific religion.
Okay, okay. All right. Ty said, I'm so glad to see a black feminist on the show.
That's nice. Thank you, Ty.
Okay. All right. Well, the time has come. Let's do it, Harley. We put you to the fire enough. How can the guy reach out to you?
You can reach me on Instagram at Harleen Cute. So HarleneQutte.
Okay. Have you downloaded the Kendra G Singles dating app yet?
I have not, but I am in the process of doing so.
Okay. Download the app and also make a profile there. I am extending the grace, but everyone should download the app and set up their profile because there is going to come a time eventually where that will be the only contact info you can give out. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. We're gonna go. If y'all ask the question, it's enough for that. All right, Harley. You definitely keep me posted. I would like to hear back from you.
I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate all the questions from everybody all the same.
Yes. Thank you so much. All
Thank
right.
you.